What's up? 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 This video might be quick. Headphones feel like sound like they're about to die. But you know, I don't know. We're gonna we're gonna say what we got to say, and this will go however it goes. So yeah, it is. What's today? It is Thursday, May 14th, 2026, which means yesterday was Teron's birthday, and that means he turned 31. Man, 31. Um, 31 years ago, bro, had no idea what I was. Can't even say no idea what I was getting myself into because there was no thought. There was no thought. It was it was almost like knowing Tehran. Well, Tehran was already here when I was aware, and it took very little time for me just to make the decision. And I just navigated from that. That's really all it was. I just navigated from that. Not even getting into that story today. But I call both the Antaron kid. I call more the kid. I call all kids the kid. Say, hey kid. But yeah, he is not a kid though. So he is definitely he is definitely his own man. And he is maneuvering, navigating, figuring out life in the best way that he can with the information that he has at the moment. Um, what I can say is I can tell that he's not who he was last year, and he's not who he was 2 years ago. 2 years ago was 2 years ago. I was definitely concerned, just overall. But I can say that he's worked through enough of the things that he has going on to continue to climb. I don't want to say the ladder, but his own steps, his own steps. He is progressing. Um, he is progressing, and so every level of progression that I watch him make, I'm a little, well, I'm proud of how he's been able to just start to figure his own stuff out. Yeah. So Bronx 31 had a nice conversation. Let's see, last time I was here, I was just given a massive download of information that not necessarily shifted my trajectory because I've been on this trajectory, but provided a different level of confirmation that was necessary for me to move with a different level of intention. And being given in what I believe was a vision or a statement, a mission statement, or something that I've received that let me know that that day, that moment, every every decision that I made was going to be important, and not that every decision we make every day isn't important. And what's funny is that we make thousands, not millions of decisions a day with all the thoughts. So it's like several 70, 80,000 thoughts a day, something like that. Don't quote me. But with every thought we have, there's a decision that we make. And it's a decision to do something or not to do something. And sometimes some people even say not doing something is a decision in its own. And so, where how much food you take in, what time you take that food in, do you work out? Do you not work out? When do you get up? Do you stay in the bed? Do you go to sleep later? Who do you talk to? What do you do while you are on the clock? What do you do after those on the clock hours? How do you communicate with people? How do you show up when you talk to people? Do you drink water? How much fruit do you eat? Is the majority of your food processed or is it not? Are you consuming things that you know your body does not like? Are you consuming things that your body does like? Are you brushing your teeth? Are you taking a shower? All of these things, are you taking care of your health? Are you looking at ways to increase your finances or at least aware of? Or are you using the tools? Are you asking for help? Or are you hiding yourself? Those are just a few. And a lot of what those were are just these are regular things that happen every day. And each one of those questions, there is an answer to. Or each one of those questions, a decision is made, yes or no. Or, yeah, not even, it's a yes or no. And each one of those yes or no's, there are levels, right? And so, with that massive download that I got, I have I've been a little bit more intentional professionally. Health wise, I've been pretty intentional. What I eat, going to sleep, exercise, um, water, the type of foods that I consume, the amount of cheat days that I allow myself, which is not many. Alcohol, um, weed, or gummies, mostly. All of those things, what I consume, what I don't consume, all of those things from my physical, my body, I'm pretty intentional with. It's the professional part that been intentional, but I've been, how do I say? I had, so it's not current. I had been looking at myself based on who I remembered that I used to be, not based on who I am. And to put it another way, I saw myself as I kept looking at myself based off of lack, not abundance. I was looking at who I kept seeing myself today based on the things that I thought was failures, but all they were experiences. I would be comparing myself to those who are in my who I work with, who have been in the industry for far longer than me, and just looking at me based off of the work, based on where they are today, not based off of how far I've gone. And it took some work. Um, took a lot of self-reflection. It took a decent amount of fumbling. But what I can say is that every year since I've been here, I have increased my capability, and I did not recognize the increase of my capability. I just saw what I couldn't do compared to everyone else. And in looking at what I couldn't do compared to everyone else was me really looking at how my life before I got to this space, just looking at it from I just muscled my way through, I struggled, I this failure, that failure, not even giving myself credit for the things that I've accomplished. It's just not really on my own, but I had to figure it out as all adults do. Some have a little bit more support than others, some have less. But regardless of what was in front of me and the multiple times everything in my space just went downward, I still continue to claw my way back up. Still find a way to claw my way back up. And in 2020, June 13th of 2020, I was laid off in a really dark space, in a really dark personal space, and unemployed, and then filing unemployment for $430 a week to earning over 100,000 technically 5 years later. I moved faster than my body even recognized. Everything was just survive, 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 push, 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 regain stability, regain stability. And at some point, I didn't even realize I had gained stability. And no, I mean, I guess I'll, one could say it's not what where I wanted it to be, but I'm where I saw myself in this process. Z has graduated. Well, we got one more. We got the high school graduation next week, and then that'll be done. Z has been accepted into Winthrop University. That is 45 minutes away from my house. And come August, I will no longer be making 2-hour drives every other weekend. That will be, I love that. I love that kid. Them drives are, yeah. But I wouldn't take nothing back. I'd do it all over again. I'd do it all over again. One would can say they would work on the errors in judgment that they made, but you don't know what you don't know until you don't know it. And the space that you're in is the space that you're in. So, but based on the relationship that I have with both Z and Tehran today, they remind me that I've done the work to build the relationship with them that I wanted. And now it's time to build the relationship with me that I've always wanted. That's going to be exciting to do.